Hi everyone, and welcome to my first BookTube video. I'm Maisie, and my channel is called Maisie with a Z because I have an unhealthy Anne of Green Gables obsession. I've been on Bookstagram and had a book blog under Of Pens and Swords for about 3 years now, but I really want to get into BookTube, so we're gonna see how this goes. For my first video, I'm going to be doing the Newbie Booktuber tag and talking about my July TBR, so let's go ahead and get into the video. So the first question on the Newbie Booktuber tag is, why did you start this channel? As I said, I've had a Bookstagram and book blog for about 3 years now, but I've kind of found that I wasn't really able to create the type of content I wanted. I wanted to make a little less polished reviews. I wanted to be able to talk more extensively about my thoughts, and I just think video is going to be a much better medium for that than Instagram or a blog. I've really loved BookTube for years and years and years. I got into it before I got into the blog scene or Bookstagram, so I've kind of always wanted to do this, so I'm really excited to be starting this channel. So the second question is, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to BookTube? I'm not super sure how to handle this because I just feel like as a new BookTuber, it's hard to know what sort of unique content I'm going to be able to make when I'm not sure what type of content I like to make yet. Honestly, I'm not sure what type of content I'm going to be liking to make a lot of yet. But I'm hoping once I get more into the flow of things, I'll start to understand what I like to make and be able to do more innovative videos and more unique concepts and takes on things. So we'll see how that goes. The third question is, what are you most excited about on this channel? I'm honestly just really excited to be able to talk about my thoughts on books with people. I've really enjoyed being able to do that on my other two platforms the past few years. And I'm really excited about getting to join the BookTube community and participate in that manner. And it's going to open up a lot of avenues for new content and new interesting ideas, and I'm just really excited. I've watched BookTube from the outside for years and years and years, so I'm excited to take a more active part in the community. The fourth question is, why do you love reading? It's hard to really pin down an answer because I've been reading since I learned to read. It's like first grade. And I've never really stopped. It's always been a huge, huge love of mine. I think escapism is definitely a huge part of it. I love being able to read about different worlds and characters and kind of escape my problems. That's been really important to me. The fifth question is, what book or series got you into reading? The first book that got me into reading is the very cliche Harry Potter. I devoured the entire series in like 2 weeks in second grade, and that was the start of my big love of reading. We are not going to be talking about that series on this channel much at all because certain authors just do not need a bigger platform due to their actions. Soon after that, I read Percy Jackson and absolutely devoured all of Rick Riordan's books. They were absolute loves of my life for all of elementary and middle school. I still love them. And some other super important books at that time when I was really getting into reading were A Series of Unfortunate Events, which I still love. The Netflix TV show is a huge comfort series for me. Mysterious Benedict Society, Secret Series, The Penderwigs, Mysterious Children of Ashton Place. So yeah, those are kind of like the series that got me into reading. So the sixth question is, what questions would you ask your favorite booktubers? Yeah, so my favorite booktubers are Throne of Pages. I absolutely love her. Her videos are most of what got me through my first year of college this past year. Katie's reading I love. Carrie Can Read. Haley in Bookland. Some questions I would ask them would be, how do you keep a consistent schedule in posting videos? Since I think that's going to be an issue for me. The seventh question, which is related, is what challenges do you think will be difficult to overcome in starting a BookTube channel? And I think the biggest thing for me is definitely just going to be keeping up a regular flow of content. So I think really keeping those deadlines for myself for posting videos and trying to make sure I make content regularly because I know I'm going to enjoy making videos. So making sure I actually follow through on doing it is, I think, something that's going to be difficult for me, but hopefully that I figure out a way to do. The eighth question is, when did you start reading? And I kind of already answered that. I would say about second grade is when I started reading extremely large amounts, where obviously I'd learned to read a year or two previously, but that was kind of like when I got into reading large series and developing a really big love of reading. The ninth question is, where do you read? I mean, I kind of read everywhere. Physical books, I generally prefer to read like in my room, but I'll honestly read anywhere. I really love going to cafes and reading. But another thing is I always have at least one ebook going on my phone and several more on my Kindle, so I'm very much a fan of just reading everywhere. Anytime I'm sitting down, I'll pull out my book and read a few pages if I'm waiting for something. My answer is just, I read everywhere. The 10th question is, what kind of books do you read? I read a little bit of everything. My big love is fantasy. I absolutely adore it. It has always been my favorite genre. But I also read a ton of contemporary romance, both YA and adult. I read literary fiction. I read a lot of classics. I'm an English major, but I also read a lot of classics for fun. My favorite books are Pride and Prejudice and Anne of Green Gables, so classics have a really big place in my heart. I don't read a ton of thriller. I don't read any thrillers. I don't like thrillers. I get freaked out easily, so thrillers and horror are not for me. I also don't read a ton of sci-fi, which is weird because it seems like something I would like since I love fantasy, but space doesn't do a lot for me. I'm kind of scared of it, so I think that may be why. But I do really love the Illuminae trilogy. That's probably my big exception to no sci-fi. So, I read a ton of genres. I'm always looking to expand the genres I read. So that's the end of the BookTuber Newbie Tag. So let's go ahead and get on to my TBR for July. So first up on my TBR is finishing Mistborn: The Final Empire. So I'm 250 pages in, so about 40%, I guess. I'm really loving it. I just was reading it before final exams last month and then kind of fell off the bandwagon and didn't get back into it this month, so I'm really hoping to finish it. It's my first Brandon Sanderson book, and I'm really loving it, and I'm really excited to get into the rest of the Cosmere once I finish it. And then next up on my TBR is going to be finishing The Serpent and the Wings of Night, which I started reading on my Kindle a couple days ago, and I don't really think I'm going to finish it before the end of the month, so I'm hoping to finish that early next month, kind of get up on board that hype train before it completely fades. I know it's largely been replaced by Fourth Wing in terms of most hyped books on book social media right now, but I'm hoping to finish it. I'm hoping to read Valiant Ladies by Melissa Gray. It's lesbian, vaguely historical romance. I'm really looking forward to it. Lesbians with swords. Can't really ask for much more than that. Then next up is a book that's been on my TBR for absolute ages, which is Babel by R.F. Kuang. This has been on my TBR ever since it came out. I've watched everyone absolutely love and adore it, and I just really wanted to read it when I could actually spend time on it and not be reading it in between homework assignments and such. So I'm really hoping to do that this month and really just settle down and get into it. It sounds absolutely amazing. The cover is gorgeous, and I'm just really excited. I mean, seriously, look at that cover. It's so beautiful. I'm a sucker for pen and ink drawings. And later in the month, I'm going to be doing a reading the highest and lowest rated books on your TBR according to Goodreads video. So for that, I'm going to be reading Making Conversation by Christine Longford and The Winter of the Witch by Catherine Arden, which is the third book in the Winter Night trilogy. I'm super excited for both of these. I don't usually take too much stock in Goodreads average ratings, but I really have a lot of faith in these. Next up on my TBR is Love Theoretically by Ali Hazelwood. I absolutely love both of her first two books and all her new novellas that she has released. So I'm really looking forward to it. Got it on sale from Costco like the day it came out, which was a real exciting find because I had been about to order it on Barnes & Noble for full price. So that was exciting. And I'm looking forward to it. Love a good rom-com in the summer. Next up on my TBR is Chain of Thorns by Cassandra Clare. This was by far my most anticipated read of the year. I love Shadowhunters more than just about anything, and I'm super excited for this. I've just been putting it off because I really want to devote my full attention to it, and I'm really excited to see how this trilogy turns out. I've already been spoiled on one point for it, but I'm otherwise really looking forward to it. Next up is another highly anticipated release/sequel, which is The Stolen Heir by Holly Black, which is the first book in a companion duology to her Folk of the Air trilogy, which is another of my favorite series. And this is another book that released in January, I believe, that I've been putting off, but I'm super excited for it. I love this world. I love Holly Black's writing. I'm sure it's going to be great. Next up is The Adventures of Amina al-Sirafi, which, I mean, if you can't tell, I'm looking forward to it by the fact it's on my TBR. I'm love pirate stories. They're my absolute favorite, so I'm absolutely certain I'm going to adore this book. I've never actually read any of Shannon Chakraborty's books before, but I've always meant to read her other books, but never gotten around to it. But I'm really excited to see what she does with this book. The first arc on my TBR for this month is Ghosted by Amanda Quain. I had received an arc of her first book, Accomplished, which was a Pride and Prejudice retelling centered around Georgiana Darcy. And I really enjoyed that book, and I'm really looking forward to this one, which is a Northanger Abbey retelling. And I'm super excited to see what she does with this, because Northanger Abbey is one of my favorite Jane Austen books, second only to Pride and Prejudice, and it never gets retellings, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what one looks like. And Ghosted is releasing on July 25th of this year. The next up is Bellegarde, which is releasing sooner. It's releasing on July 11th. And it's billed as a She's All That historical romance retelling, and it's compared to A Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue and its NetGalley description. It sounds more like a fluffy romance, and I just think it's going to be really fun. And it just sounds like a super lighthearted read, so I think it's going to be a good time. And then the last arc on my TBR for the month is Bring Me Your Midnights by Rachel Griffin, and that is set to release on August 1st of this year. It sounds like a super witchy fantasy centered around a forbidden romance. I'm absolutely entirely here for it. The cover is gorgeous. I don't know too much what to expect with that one, but it sounds pretty atmospheric, and I'm really looking forward to it, which I know I've said about all the books on this, but I really am. And then beyond those, the rest of the books on my TBR are going to be making as much progress in the Throne of Glass series as I can. For context, about 2 years ago, I read the first 5 books in the series and never actually got around to finishing Empire of Storms, Tower of Dawn, or Kingdom of Ash. It got to be this past spring, and I realized, I don't think I actually remember enough of these books to finish the series without doing a full reread. So that's what I've been doing. I just finished rereading Heir of Fire, and I'm about to start on The Assassin's Blade. I'm really looking forward to seeing where the series goes. So I still have to reread The Assassin's Blade and Queen of Shadows, both of which I should get to this month. And then Empire of Storms, Tower of Dawn, and Kingdom of Ash will all be completely new to me. So I'm really excited to see where those go. Okay guys, so that's the end of my July TBR. I'm not entirely certain of if I'll actually get to all or even most of the books on the list. I'm typically more of a mood reader, so my TBRs are generally more of hopeful reads for the month. But one thing about this month is a bunch of them are books that I've been looking forward to for months and months and months and really wanting to get to. So I'm pretty confident I'll get to at least most of them in July. So that's the end of my first video. I'm hoping to post weekly on Sundays. This was really fun, and I'm really looking forward to this channel. So thank you so much for sticking around. Please subscribe, comment, and tell me what you're planning on reading in July, and I will see you later.